All right, David, just a quick moment, if we can, on Justice Jackson's sartorial choices here. Josh Blackman over at the Vogue Conspiracy headline, Justice Jackson did not wear a dissent collar to the inauguration. She apparently wore a talisman to ward off evil. So, at the inauguration, Justice Jackson's wearing her black robe, and over it, she is wearing a collar made of cowrie shells. And I have to tell you, I think it is beautiful, very judicial looking. It is the shape of the white collars that you used to see in sort of British judicial robes. Maybe you still do see them. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite lovely. And remember, her parents were very into African art and history. That's what her name comes from. It means lovely one, as she will explain in her autobiography, if you'd care to read it. This was met, however, with a lot of anger because, I guess, according to Vogue, the National Museum of African American History and Culture notes that in America, the shell is thought to be a totem used to resist enslavement. Justice Jackson herself is a descendant of enslaved people. The connection feels particularly prescient on Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday. Beyond its status as a protective talisman, the cowrie is also associated with womanhood and fertility. And then Vogue, for some reason, went on to talk about how Trump was found liable for sexual abuse and appointed Brett Kavanaugh to the court, that was somehow related. And then, of course, Roe v. Wade overturned. While Justice Jackson has yet to explain the exact meaning of her inauguration collar, the cowrie shell's multiple meanings point to a sartorial expression of her dissent. And then it talks about Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg used to have different collars for whether she was in the majority or in the dissent. Vogue finishing by saying, Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's collar for President Trump's swearing-in ceremony sent a particularly powerful message. Josh Blackman is not amused with this. Even if Justice Jackson did not intend to convey this message, there is clearly the literal appearance of impropriety. This is not just, as I thought, a fashion faux pas. Yet, there is not a word about whether this move violates any ethical rules. People praise Justice Jackson like they praised Ginsburg's political sartorial choices. Remember, Justice Jackson is attending the inauguration, only a few yards away from Trump, but she apparently deems it necessary to wear a talisman to ward off evil. Will Jackson face any recusal motions for all Trump-related cases? Jackson, of all members, should be grateful there is no binding Supreme Court ethics code. Meanwhile, there are never-ending efforts to attack Justice Alito based on the non-political flags his wife chose to fly at their home. Remember, almost every single attack on legal ethics is just an interference, an attempt to force conservative justices to recuse. There is no there. David, I liked the necklace. It feels like there's a lot of different messages the necklace could have, or it could just be a beautiful necklace that someone made for her.
Yeah, I mean, why are we taking the Vogue analysis of a necklace, which I would have looked at and not 100 days out of 100 would not have thought, oh, this is like, I don't know, some talisman against the evil eye or something like that. There's no way. There's just no way. And she has not commented. And so what you have is just some sort of a fashion magazine issuing declarative interpretations or potential interpretations of what just looked like a pretty cool, fashionable piece of jewelry. And I mean, what? If she was wearing an upside down flag, like I'd be with Professor Blackman. I'd be like, what the heck is going on here? Instead, there's nothing at all that is communicated by that. Like the average person looking at that necklace is not receiving any message at all other than cool necklace or cool collar or whatever you want to call it.
Yep, I agree. And I think that a criticism we get on this podcast is that we are too quick to give the benefit of the doubt to the justices for things that other people try to read into. You're right. I am. Because we have why are you reading into this? Why is Vogue reading into this? What do they possibly know other than they Googled cowrie shells and then it's oh, they can stand for this or this or this. And no matter what, we can somehow trace this to her disliking Donald Trump. That sounds like projecting to me.